Hey, this is Politics with Laura, to where everything is politics. Whether if it's here locally in the US or if it's international, you will get the true news because I use newspapers from around the world. Politicians here or politicians over there, or if there's a war here or a war over there, I would make sure that you know about it. Okay, this video is going to be very tough because it talks about immigration and relationships with people from other places that are having struggles within their land. There's a young man that came to the UK at the age of 14, and I'm getting ready to mess up his name, and please forgive me. His name is, oh my goodness, how do I get through this one? My goodness. Um, Abdul Rahim Zai. Abdul Rahim Zai. And his first name is Lonagine. I want to say Lawangine, but I know that's incorrect. He left Afghanistan. He came to the UK through Serbia. And I thought, and I'm thinking, oh, that's right. Serbia is a Muslim country, so they do share the same language, and I believe it would be Arabic. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he managed to get through there at the age of 14. Now, he enters the UK and he gets accepted for asylum seeking, and it goes on. Now, this young man is accused of horrific crimes. He's accused of killing two immigrants in Serbia on his way to the UK, where he gets into an altercation between him and another guy, and they're arguing and fighting over an e-scooter, to where the peacemaker by the name of, Roberts, Thomas Roberts, he tries to break them up because he's a peacemaker and he wanted to go into the military, or that's the US term, but to the Royal Marines because he had an aspiration to do that. And he lost his life so senselessly over a stupid e-scooter. So stupid. Now, let's pick this apart. I'm going to call him A, or Ab, because his name, I don't want to mess his name up. Now, Ab, he was fleeing Afghanistan due to the Taliban, and this is back in 2000, dare I say 19. 2019, he made his way to the UK as a refugee seeking asylum, unaccompanied at that. Let's keep that in mind. That right there is on the bottom of this. He's unaccompanied 14-year-old asylum seeker going to the UK. Okay. Now, as he's making his way, there are some people, okay, not some people, let's leave them out of this. So they put him in with a foster family. The foster family who looked after him were unaware of his violent past, as they were the school where he was studying. Hmm, interesting. But let me back up a little bit. The Home Office now facing serious questions about why Ab was ever allowed into the UK, and what checks were not done into his age and background. Now that right there is a very good question. How did this where were the lacking or the holes that he was able to fall into that allowed this to happen for him to be saying that he was 14? And when you look at him, he was like, there's no way. on any green earth that he is 14 years old. I mean, mm, okay, I'm gonna leave that one alone. Now, now the courts heard that they were immediately confronted by an aggressive Ab. Mr. Midway said that the young asylum seeker appeared irritated and told the pair to get off the scooter. This was his scooter. Mr. Midway and Mr. Roberts felt threatened after Ab squared up with him when he tried to diffuse the situation. Mr. Roberts is like, okay, let's just keep this calm. I mean, this right here doesn't have to be this way. But hmm, Ab, he wasn't having it. Now Ab at some point took out a knife and did this. Knifed in the chest. Mr. Roberts slapped him across the. Where did he go from slapping him across the face? Try to defuse it. Then Mr. Roberts slapped him across the face after Ab, plunged a 10 centimeter knife blade, centimeter long blade, twice in his chest. So he gets him twice in his chest. The only thing what he does was just slap him. Okay. The attacker, who had an Afghan flag, tied it around his neck, then fled the scene on foot. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Okay. Nick Lobenberg, KC, prosecuting, described Ab as a man who reveres or who revels in violence. Following his arrest for the killings of Roberts, Ab told officers he believed he was 16 years old and had entered the UK age 14 from Afghanistan, leading him to be considered a juvenile. But subsequent but subsequent test carried out on his teeth ahead of the trial revealed that he was in fact 21. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Okay. But Nicola um, Merchant Jones fostered Ab from 2000 to 2021 before he moved on before he moved out following a disagreement. Okay. In a statement read out by Salisbury Crown Court during the trial, she said default setting had been to fight, and he believed in a statement read out to Salisbury Crown Court during the trial, she said his default setting had been to fight, and he believed it was his right to carry a knife. Huh. Now this makes me wonder. This makes me wonder. When you have people coming in that manner, are they informed of the laws that they would have to abide by? I don't know. I'm just asking. I don't know. A very troubled individual. I believe he was. I mean, just imagine being in that type of environment, having the Taliban and then first the US pulling out, because the US has been in Afghanistan for about 20 years. So if he's 21, he was born 1 years old. So I could only imagine what he has seen. Oh man. Okay. He's seen things he should never have seen. This is what I just said. She said Ab regularly had night terrors, but his past would not often speak about in his experiences from before he arrived in the United States, in which I believe when people come from such traumatic areas like that, one of the first things that they need is a therapist, in my belief, a therapist, mental health help to get through this because that is traumatic. You go from extreme stress to a place to where it's calm, and it takes a long time to adjust to having calmness into where you can walk down the street and not be afraid. Now, describing his mood could change, she said. He could go from 0 to 100 in almost an instant. That poor thing. He often could get into trouble at school for fighting, she added. On the shopping trip to buy a new coat, she caught the defendant with a knife which he had taken from her kitchen. Always on the lookout. I mean, it's like, hey, something could be happening. I need to be able to defend myself. I understand that, but this, oh. She informed social services who arranged for a social worker to come around and to talk to him about knives. Miss Merchant Jones revealed he had also been engaging in street fights for money, earning up to 100 euros per bout. Wow. The jury played a video of material posted on Snapchat by Ab of him beating up an older man. Oh man, this gets worse by the second. But the sad part about it is this: people in this type of situation that comes from really hard areas within the world, war torn areas, when they are relieved from that, some, because this young man, is going to make everybody look okay, going to pay way a lot of attention and tighten up certain avenues to where people can come in. This is a rough situation. It is really rough. I My heart goes out to him. My heart also goes out to the people that he hurt. Not hurt but killed. But an e-scooter? You get into a fight over a stupid e-scooter. And then you stab the guy, and his only recourse is to slap you in the face. And the only thing that he could do was take the Afghanistan flag, put it around his neck, and run. Oh, this is going to cause a whole lot of problems. It really is, in my belief. It's going to cause a whole lot of problems because it's. How can I say this? How can I say this? It's such different cultures, completely different. In areas like that, people have a lot of restriction due to their religion, a lot of restriction coming to a country to where you're allowed to do so much more. Now, from Ab coming from the area and time that he was there in Afghanistan, there's a lot of fighting, the Taliban coming forth, just I could only imagine the level of stress. But no buts, but. So I do have a video of them arresting him.
Listen, during the early hours of Saturday the 12th of March 2022, an individual in Old Christchurch Road, Bournemouth, was stabbed and subsequently died. Inquiries have established that you have been responsible and therefore you're arrested on suspicion of murder. I've got to caution you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something later on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. The time is 00 and 11 hours. Your arrest is necessary to prevent any injury to yourself or others for the proper effective investigation of the offence.
Now, he came in, keep in mind, he came in as a 14-year-old. When they start checking into it, 16, but when they arrested him, 21. So when he came into England, he was 18. Mm, I don't know. And then having a lot of the freedoms that he had that he didn't have in Afghanistan, and a lot of the social media that countries in that area try to keep out because it brings, or they believe, and this is just simply what was told to me, it basically corrupts the mind of the young people, which there may be some truth to that. There may be some truth to that, in my opinion. But now that they have him, oh, and he also spent a few years traveling through Europe, including spelling in Serbia, Norway, Italy, before arriving in Britain in 2019. OMG. Oh, wow. Backtrack a little bit. Miss Merchant said she told social services that he needed counseling, but they said he did not meet the criteria because his asylum status, or his asylum seeker status. And you could have stopped this. Social services could have stopped it. You brought that on Thomas Roberts because of the law policies that were put in place by what you did. And when I say you, I mean the government. You gotta give them help, therapy. You just don't say you're an asylum seeker and don't give them any. Just, jeez. But having said all that, what do you think? I want to thank you for stopping by because you could be anywhere, but you decide to stay here with me and listen to my video because politics runs the world. Now, whether if you agree with the politics or not, put something down in the comment section. Whether if you agree or disagree with me, that is okay. We can agree to disagree, or we can agree to agree. So please help me get to 500 subscribers, and then help me get to 1,000 subscribers. And thank you for stopping by.